Right now, at 6, thousands of area families will soon see relief for their medical bills.
Plus, we're tracking roller coaster temperatures into this week, plus a couple of chances for rain. I'll have the details.
And the Cherokee County Health Department is helping people in the community sign up for resources like WIC.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Well, good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. It's 6 a.m. I'm Elise Snowy.
And I'm Chloe Arroyo. You know, I'm finally starting to warm up a little bit after being outside. I'm starting to not have the goosebumps.
And of course it doesn't help. Many of you have heard it's cold in the studio because of the lights and all the equipment. So it's not that much relief from the outside.
Yeah, I do have a confession. I did turn it up a little bit when I came in.
We won't tell Doug anything.
Yeah, nobody tell Doug about that. Yeah, right. But yeah, so it's been so cold this morning. Thankfully, it's a little bit warmer in here. Yes. But as you have that morning commute, keep that in mind because your windshield may have that frost on it. I know it sure did on both of ours this morning, but take a look at these temperatures. They're still in the lower 30s into the upper 20s across the board. Anderson just a hair above freezing at 34 degrees. Neosho 36. Yates Center, you're still in the 20s at 28 degrees. Neodesha 29 degrees right now. Parsons 28. So we're still cold for a lot of folks across the 4 states. So really keep that in mind. Now as the kiddos head off to that bus stop this morning, we're going to be in the 30s, 36. We'll have that easterly wind and then we'll warm up once that starts to shift into a southerly wind this afternoon around 5 to 10 miles per hour, though we could see a couple of gusts upwards of 20 miles per hour in the early afternoon hours. Now planning out your afternoon, we'll see some increasing clouds really beyond 2 p.m. will be mostly cloudy to eventually cloudy really past dinner time this afternoon. Again, we'll have those southerly winds. That's what's really warming us up this afternoon. Into tonight, we could see that rain chance. That'll be beyond 10 p.m. So really keeping that in mind. Our low tonight going to be 37 degrees. So we'll cool right back down later on tonight. Not many folks will see rain chances, but coming up in a bit, I'll tell you who's going to see those rain chances across the 4 states, as well as more rain chances next week. We're talking Christmas Eve. We have a chance for rain. I'll have all those details and more coming up.
All right. Thanks, Chloe. Well, a judge yesterday sentences a man for a 2023 murder in Galena, Kansas. Billy Barker gets what's called a hard 50 sentence. Now that's a life sentence without eligibility for parole for 50 years rather than 25. Now in June, after a 3-day trial, a jury found Barker guilty of fatally shooting 27-year-old Levi Porter in April 2023. They convicted Barker on charges of first-degree murder, being a felon in possession of a firearm, and criminally carrying of a weapon. And now he was also sentenced to a year for each of the other counts. And now you can stay up to date with the latest news, weather, and sports with the KOAM Plus TV streaming app. It's available on Amazon Fire TV, Android TV, Apple TV Plus, and Roku. Now the player is also available on our news and weather apps as well as our website. Watch live streaming anytime, absolutely free. The KOAM Plus TV streaming app. Well, thousands of area families are getting relief for their medical bills. The announcement comes from Hope City Church, which has campuses in both Joplin and Northwest Arkansas. The church says it's negotiated to erase $4.2 million in medical debt for families in Southwest Missouri and Northwest Arkansas this Christmas. Now, the program targets unpayable debt that's too large for someone to overcome on their own, due to either the size of the debt of the income of the income of the recipient. Now, the church says this will eliminate all medical debt for more than 3,200 people in our region who fall below a specific financial threshold. Now, the money comes from donations and the church's budget. In a news release, lead pastor Cody Walker says, quote, "Our hope and prayer is that our community would know that they are loved, and we not only want to step in the gap and help with the need, but we are praying that this would be an answer to prayer for over 3,200 families who will receive their medical debt abolished this Christmas," end quote. You can find more information on this story on KOAMNewsNow.com. And bicyclists are gearing up for some new rides as 4 new routes are set to roll out across the 4-state area. Now, these additions are part of a national effort to expand the United States bicycle route system, a network designed to connect cyclists with safe designated routes across the country. Now, the new paths will stretch through Indiana, Missouri, and 2 fresh routes in Kansas. Now, for cyclists in Joplin, this means a new passage all the way to Arkansas.
Bicycle tourism is a big part of what we do. We established Bike Route 66 back in 2018, and people do traverse that throughout the season. And we're talking about people who are doing multiple day, multi-city traveling across the states, and they will hit many, many locations across the state or across a region. And BR 66 has been very profitable for us as far as folks traveling that.
Now, this will be the most added mileage in any year, totaling 50,000 miles of routes available. The Cherokee County Health Department hosted an outreach clinic at Galena City Hall yesterday. They helped people through the application process of programs like WIC and Can Care in offering lead tests. Their goal is to help families gain access to the resources they need and meet their health needs.
I was able to get on WIC, get on some food assistance and even childcare subsidies that really helped my family get on the right path towards financial liberation.
They encourage people to attend the outreach clinic to find out what they qualify for. And that's a look at this morning's top stories and weather in our first 7 minutes, coming up on the KOAM Morning News. The FBI is warning the public not to take action into their own hands against what appears to be mysterious drones. Plus, 1 student and 1 teacher were killed after a 15-year-old student opened fire at a small private Christian school in Wisconsin. And Chloe Arroyo returns with another look at your Tuesday forecast. You're watching the KOAM Morning News. We'll be right back, but first, here's a live look of all the current toy donations for this year's Toy Box Drive, made possible by you. Topping Nation Watch this morning. Well, Starbucks is boosting paid parental leave for its store workers. Now, starting in March, birth parents will get 3 times the paid parental leave. Now, it was 12 weeks, but will now be 18 weeks. Also, their spouses and partners and employees who become parents through adoption or foster placement will now get up to 12 weeks of parental leave. The new benefits are for more than 200,000 store workers, including baristas and store managers at the 10,000 company-owned stores. Now, it does not apply to the nearly 7,000 licensed stores that operate independently. And it also is only for employees who work an average of 20 hours a week or more. Well, concerns over drone sightings have some people on edge in parts of the country, and now the FBI and state police in New Jersey have issued a warning to the public. Now, they want people not to act if they see a drone in the sky. There's concern some people might try to shoot one down. Authorities say not all of the flying objects people see are drones, and some may be small planes. Federal and state authorities are also warning people not to shine lasers towards aircrafts. And they say more and more pilots are getting hit in the eyes with lasers, and that creates a potentially dangerous situation. Now, meanwhile, the FBI has received a few thousand tips regarding drone sightings in several states. The White House national security spokesperson said investigators are still checking out about 100 of those. Washington, D.C. is once again facing a potential government shutdown. The deadline is Friday, and funding for farmers has caused a stalemate, according to several sources involved with the matter. Both Republican and Democratic aides say they believe Congress will be able to come to an agreement that keeps the government running through March 2025. However, right now, the bill on the table doesn't have additional assistance for the agriculture world. Now, that could cause voting problems with lawmakers in farm-heavy states and is causing partisan bickering. The matter is currently being hashed out by House Speaker Mike Johnson, Democratic Leader Hakeem Jeffries, Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer, and Minority Leader Mitch McConnell. Well, this morning, police in Madison, Wisconsin are searching for answers after a 15-year-old student opened fire at a small private Christian school yesterday morning. One student and one teacher were killed and half a dozen others were injured. The shooter was found with a gunshot wound and later pronounced dead. Naomi Ruckham has the latest from New York.
Singing, prayers, and tears at a vigil last night as a community in Madison, Wisconsin comes to grips with a tragic school shooting.
Got a call coming in at Abundant Life Christian Church that's advising someone was shot.
Police arrived minutes after a second grader called to report an active shooter just before 11 a.m. at the small, private Abundant Life Christian School.
Don't let that soak in for a minute. A second grade student called 911.
This sixth grader said he heard the gunshots while sitting in English class.
We heard them and then some people started fighting and then we just waited till the police came.
Police say one teenage student and one teacher were killed. At least 6 other people were wounded. A speaker at last night's vigil said the teacher was a substitute for another educator who had called out sick. Meanwhile, police have identified the shooter as 15-year-old student Natalie Rupnow, who went by the name Samantha. They say she was pronounced dead on the way to the hospital, adding that a 9mm handgun was recovered from the scene.
We're not going to rush the information. We'll take our time and make sure that we do our due diligence.
Investigators have searched the 15-year-old's home, and they say her family is cooperating with the investigation as police try to determine a motive. Naomi Ruckham, CBS News.
Now, police say at least 2 of those wounded in the shooting have been released from the hospital. Now, 2 students have life-threatening critical injuries. The Madison police chief last night said his agency is working with state and federal law enforcement in their investigation, and they're cautioning the public not to believe everything they read on social media about the shooter and the shooting. And that's a look at some of today's top national stories. Here's Chloe with a look at your forecast.
Well, thank you, Elise. Now, a lot of folks are waking up this morning, temperatures in the lower 30s, upper 20s as of right now. So we're still below freezing for a lot of folks, especially in Pittsburgh, Fort Scott, you're at 28 degrees, Miami, 29 degrees, Grove, 32, sitting right at that freezing line. As you get a little further north and west in southeastern Kansas, 28 still in Yates Center in the 20s for Chanute and Neodesha going on right now. So in the afternoon, expect those temperatures to be on the incline as that southerly flow, that wind begins to change directions. Right now it's an easterly wind, but eventually it's going to turn into more so of a southerly flow. In a little bit, we're going to talk more about the rain chances tonight, as well as those roller coaster temperatures. We also have more rain in the forecast, especially on Christmas Eve. So we'll have all of those details coming up in just a bit.
Well, the Guinness World Record holder for the largest gingerbread village is now on display in New York City. Now, it's called Gingerbread Lane, and it's all the work of one dedicated artist. Elle McLogan got a look behind the scenes to see how the holiday magic comes to life.
It's not Santa's workshop, but it's pretty close.
I work in 3 mediums: icing and gingerbread and candy.
It's the home basement studio in Forest Hills, Queens, of gingerbread artist John Levitch. Here, cracked and damaged gingerbread is on the operating table.
And the Nutcracker needed some emergency surgery, needed a foot reattached. This has been at Columbus Circle and is about to go back.
His Gingerbread Lane is the Guinness World Record holder for the largest gingerbread village, now on display inside the shops at Columbus Circle. There's a New York taxi, a newsstand, and a subway car.
And I don't go for perfection. I try to create a scene.
How often are you doing this drive from home repairs to Columbus Circle?
This is my second time today.
Really?
Yeah, but for the most part, the exhibits hold up pretty good.
The Missouri native is a former fine dining executive chef whose lifelong love of Christmas inspired a career change. He's now a full-time gingerbread man.
It doesn't pay good, made more as a chef, but I get to do it from home.
He bakes the gingerbread himself with brown sugar, ginger, and cinnamon.
Combined, probably about 25,000 pounds of gingerbread that I've baked.
In the weeks before Christmas, he's already beginning construction on next year's gingerbread.
What do you think it is about a gingerbread village that so captures the imagination of people who see it?
I think it's the detail, and it's the ability to try to, recreate the outer world in an edible, whimsical winter wonderland type fashion.
For Levitch, seeing guests charmed and intrigued is worth the year-round effort.
So no matter how bad somebody's day is going, you've made them happy. That's just a great feeling.
In Queens, Elle McLogan, CBS News, New York.
Well, 25,000 pounds of gingerbread is certainly something I can get behind. Let's head over to Chloe with a quick look at the forecast.
Oh, I can too, Elise. You and me both, for sure. Temperatures right now into the lower 30s, upper 20s. This afternoon, we're going to warm up and then we're going to cool right back down later on this evening. So coming up in a bit, I'm going to talk more about the roller coaster temperatures as well as our rain chances throughout the rest of this week. Stick around. Well, welcome back to the KOAM Morning News. A lot of folks woke up this morning, went outside, saw the frost on their windshield, and if you were like me, I just sat in the car and waited for it to defrost. Others got out, and I wish I did that because it would have gone a whole lot quicker. Temperatures right now still in the lower 30s, upper 20s. Pittsburgh 28, Fort Scott, you're at 27 degrees. Anything below or 28 degrees and below is considered a hard freeze. So a lot of us, if not all of us, underwent a hard freeze just last night. So as the kiddos are heading out to that bus stop this morning, bundle up. Our temperature is going to be in the mid to upper 30s, 36 degrees. And while we have that easterly wind going on right now in the next couple of hours, that's going to eventually switch into a southerly flow. That's going to warm us up nicely into the 50s, 57 degrees for your high in Joplin. And then we'll see some increasing clouds really after 2 o'clock this afternoon. You'll start to see that begin to incorporate into the sky today. You'll see those winds begin to pick up every once in a while. So consistently will be about 5 to 10 miles per hour, but we could see gusts upwards of 20 to 30 miles per hour. So keep that in mind for your early afternoon. Now planning out your evening, we'll see temperatures still in the 50s, but we're still going to see those clouds around 8 p.m. and then eventually we'll see some rain chances off to our eastern counties. We're talking mainly for southwestern Missouri and northwestern Arkansas. We'll see those rain chances. So you can see them pick up right here. This is around 10:30, so really after bedtime for a lot of kiddos on that school night tonight. So we'll see a couple showers here and there. This won't be loud by any means. We won't see any terms or anything in terms of accumulation, just a couple of stray showers here and there. After that pushes through, we're going to switch directions in the wind. We're going to shift from a southerly wind to a northerly wind into Wednesday morning, and my goodness, it will be a windy one heading out to class in the morning. So today we'll see our wind gusts upwards of 25 miles per hour, but tomorrow expect 35 to 40 miles per hour early Wednesday morning, and they're coming from the north, so it's bringing that cold air in. So when you have colder air and heavier winds, that's a perfect recipe for feel like temperatures a whole lot colder than the actual temperature, and that's really what your body responds to. So in the morning when you go to that bus stop, Yates Center, it's going to feel like 19 degrees. Same for Independence out there, 19. Really for our further western counties, it's going to be much colder, but it's still going to feel like the 20s, mid to upper 20s for southwest Missouri and northwestern Arkansas. So really keep that in mind throughout the afternoon as well. We'll still feel like we're in the lower 30s. So still going to feel like a very cold day. So throughout the week, that rain chance that we'll see tonight will push off to the east, and we won't have to worry about that anymore. We'll see a ridge pattern end up setting in, and then next week we have another chance for rainfall. This is Christmas Eve as a trough pattern begins to set in. We'll see that on Tuesday, but we also have another chance for some showers and storms. We're tracking this on Thursday, the day after Christmas, next Thursday. So a couple of chances for showers and storms in the forecast indeed, but a cold end to our week, 38 degrees on Friday, but a cool and chill weekend ahead of us. Elise?
Hi, Chloe, thanks. Well, topping Health Watch, a new study shows Americans should be eating more beans. excuse me, and less red meat. Now that's the advice from a panel of nutrition experts making recommendations about federal dietary guidelines. The panel also said we need to cut back on sugar, sodium, and saturated fat, but they didn't weigh in on ultra-processed foods, which have been linked to health problems. Well, the federal needle exchange programs save money and reduce the spread of viruses and infections. A study by the Canadian Medical Association Journal found the programs, which provide new sterile syringes for people who use drugs, lead to reductions in hepatitis cases and injection-related infections. They also help save money by reducing the need for medical care. And a new study finds taxi and ambulance drivers have lower rates of death from Alzheimer's. Research by Mass General Brigham suggests people who have jobs that frequently use spatial processing, like coming up with the best routes to locations, could receive a boost to their brain health. The same part of the brain that's involved in navigation is involved in the development of Alzheimer's. And that's a look at some of today's top health stories. We'll be right back. Right now at 6:30, a popular Joplin business blooms in a second location.
Plus, we're tracking roller coaster temperatures for your week, as well as a couple of rain chances. I'll have the details.
And a couple in Southwest Missouri want to warn people about an online housing scam.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News at 6:30. I'm Elise Noe.
And I'm Chloe Arroyo. Well, Elise, how's it going? Has the coffee kicked in yet?
The coffee's definitely kicking in, but a cough, I feel like, is also kicking in. It gets so cold in here just with the winter months, and it's so dry. We're both talking about it. You get a little tickle in your throat sometimes.
It just happened to me too. Yeah, it's so dry. My skin is dry. We've just been talking about it, like between the two of us. Like
yesterday's rain must have helped or something.
Exactly.
I don't know.
Yeah, it wasn't enough. It wasn't enough. We're still pretty dry out there, and we're still cold. So really keep that in mind. Actually, here's a look at your current temperatures right now. In the lower 30s, upper 20s right now. So keep in mind, 28 degrees or lower is considered a hard freeze. So the majority of us for our lows last night underwent that temperature, if not lower. So right now, Fort Scott, you're at 27 degrees, Pittsburgh 28, Parsons, Oswego, you guys are still at 30 degrees right now. So still below freezing. If you got that morning commute right about now, really bundle up and make sure that you are prepared for that cold weather. So as the kiddos head out to that bus stop this morning, our temperatures are going to be in the 30s still. We've got that easterly wind, but once that wind switches, and it will this afternoon, we're going to see a southerly flow, and that's going to bring our temperatures in the mid to upper 50s. Now we'll see some increasing clouds here and there, and that will begin to become more prominent really after 2 p.m. this afternoon. Your high 57 degrees. And then this evening, we're going to be fully cloudy before we see a couple of rain chances this evening. And that's really going to be after 10 p.m. for a couple of folks. It's not going to be much rain by any means. Our low tonight going to be 37 degrees. Overall, the 4 states will be cloudy in general. Now coming up in a bit, we're going to track those rain chances tonight. Like I said, it'll be very sporadic and just very minimal rainfall, but I'll tell you who's going to get that rainfall, as well as our roller coaster temperatures this week. We're going to be above average, then we're going to be back to normal, the whole 9 yards, and then Christmas Eve, we've got a chance for rain. I'll have all the details coming up.
The roller coaster continues. Thanks, Chloe. Well, the Pittsburgh Chamber of Commerce wants to warn residents of an online scam. The scammer has been posting fake links on the Chamber's giveaway post. The Chamber says do not click any suspicious links or provide personal information. The Chamber goes on to say if you should win the giveaway, you'll hear directly from the Chamber. And another scam going around, this one in Southwest Missouri. A Springfield couple listed their house for sale recently only to be notified by their realtor that they had been scammed out of their money after responding to what turned out to be a fake ad. One of the homeowners said she's seen multiple fake ads on Facebook.
It's only been listed for maybe a week, and there's fake ads on Facebook. Like I found 2 or 3 of them and reported them already. But the one that she saw is not the ones I've found, so there's no telling where all it's posted at.
Realtors say beware of marketplaces like Facebook or Craigslist, and if it seems too good to be true, well, it probably is. The party is officially over for Party City in Joplin. The nationally known party supply company closed its doors for the last time this weekend. KOAM's Shannon Becker took one last look at an empty building and empty shelves. Now, sources say the vacant building is scheduled to become a Five Below in 2025. Well, a popular Joplin business is growing. The Joplin Greenhouse and Coffee Shop will open a second location called Bloom in historic downtown Joplin. The new location on 218 South Main Street will serve as a streamlined version of the Joplin favorite, but visitors can expect the house-made syrups and house-roasted coffee patrons have come to love. Bloom will open tomorrow. Well, Missouri Southern State University receives a $347,000 grant to tackle the 4 states' nursing shortage. The university's Nursing Education Incentive Program is designed to boost the number of nursing graduates and address the shortage of nursing faculty in the Joplin area and rural communities. Over the next 3 years, the funding will help expand the pre-licensure bachelor's in nursing program, create an accelerated graduate nursing degree, and support new faculty positions. The grant will also fund the development of a mentoring network to improve faculty retention and provide advanced training to grow the number of qualified educators. Well, some 4-legged friends who made the nice list this year posed for pictures with St. Nick yesterday. The jolly old elf made an appearance at North Park Mall yesterday morning for pet photos. And visitors at the North Park Mall will have some cherished memories, not just for this holiday season, but for years to come. And judging by the look on this pooch's face, someone has been a very good boy this year. Well, revelers gathered in Carthage, Missouri last night and took off for a run, walk, or jog through the Way of Salvation Christmas light display. The event started at the Church of the Nazarene parking lot and was free and open to the public. Now, runners led the way, followed by walkers and bikes. Those taking part could choose a 1-mile loop back to the church or a longer route through the historic Carthage Square, with some opting for a detour to sparkle in the park.
I think this is an awesome way for our families to get together and walk through the lights. We never get to get that close up. You know, we can drive through, but walking through is really cool. We're not running, we're just walking. We're sauntering.
Well-behaved dogs were also allowed to join in on the fun, and participants enjoyed cookies and cocoa inside the church afterward. And don't forget, today will be our last Toy Box Tuesday telethon. We'll have volunteers at our phone banks, and they'll be taking your calls during our noon, 5, 6, and 9 o'clock newscast. You can call in, donate money, or brand new toys and make a difference in the lives of some area children. For more information, including where you can drop off toys, just head over to KOAMnewsnow.com/toybox. And that's a look at our top news stories coming up this half hour on the KOAM Morning News. Well, TikTok is asking the Supreme Court to intervene in the federal ban of the popular app that's set to take effect in January. And we have a warmer and cloudy day today. We'll have what to expect with Chloe Arroyo in the Skywatch Weather Center. You're watching the KOAM Morning News. We'll be right back, but first, here's a live look of all the current toy donations of this year's Toy Box Drive made possible by you. In Consumer Watch this morning, well, TikTok has asked the U.S. Supreme Court to step in and temporarily block a federal law that would ban the popular app unless its Chinese parent company, ByteDance, agrees to sell it. The ban is set to take effect January 19th, and the company's request asks the High Court to issue an emergency decision by January 6th. TikTok's CEO met with President-elect Donald Trump at Mar-a-Lago yesterday. Some of TikTok's more than 100 million American users have also filed a separate request to block the law. The Department of Transportation has finalized new rules aimed at improving air travel for people with disabilities. The regulation includes training for employees that physically assist flyers with disabilities, faster assistance for boarding and deboarding planes, and the requirement that airplanes promptly repair or replace broken or lost equipment such as wheelchairs and scooters. The new rules go into effect next year. And attention fantasy football players, Domino's is teaming up with the NFL wide receiver Stephon Diggs to give away $1 million in free emergency pizza to fans who had the Houston Texans on their fantasy team after he suffered a season-ending injury. Now, fans can send a pic of their fantasy lineup with Diggs to the website Domino'sFromDiggs.com by January 6th for a shot at winning free pizza. And that's it for Consumer Watch. Here's Chloe with another look at your forecast.
Thanks, Elise. Yeah, our temperatures this morning, very chilly, just in short terms to put it. Temperatures right now in the 30s to even 20s. Pittsburgh still at 28, Fort Scott 27, Yates Center, you've warmed up just a hair, a couple degrees, finally at 31 degrees. You're at 27 degrees to 28 for quite some time. Now for that bus stop forecast, as the kiddos are heading out this morning, our temperatures are going to be in the 30s, mid 30s, while we have that easterly flow with us. Then eventually we're going to shift from an east wind to a south wind, and that's going to warm us up pretty nicely as that southerly flow comes from the Gulf, warming us up into the mid to upper 50s this afternoon. We could see some increasing clouds into the afternoon and evening, and we'll be pretty cloudy by the time we get past dinner time this afternoon. So keep that in mind. This afternoon we'll have more sunshine, but throughout the day we'll have those increasing clouds. Again, our southerly wind 5 to 10 miles per hour. But we could see a couple of gusts here and there, upwards of 20 to 30 miles per hour, especially in the afternoon. So now we do have a rain chance in the forecast for later on this evening. It'll be very minimal, nothing in terms of accumulation, but mainly for eastern counties in southwestern Missouri, northwestern Arkansas. Now coming up in a bit, we're going to talk more about that timeline, but I'm going to leave you with this view just for now. We're going to talk more about that timeline as well as the full forecast. We have some rain chances on Christmas Eve. I'll have all of those details, and hey, it's almost time to celebrate birthdays and anniversaries. They're right up after the break, but first, let's see what's happening on CBS Mornings.
I'm Tony Nicole. Coming up on CBS Mornings, she's been called Comedian of the Year by the New York Times. Nikki Glaser is her name. She will be here talking about making Hollywood history as the very first woman to independently and solo host the Golden Globes. That's coming up on CBS Mornings.
Well, it's time to celebrate some Tuesday birthdays here in the 4 states, starting in Jasper with Wygant Clayton celebrating birthday number 4 today. It says, love from your family. Happy birthday.
Oh, happy birthday. And Winter Kester from Chanute, Kansas, sister of Isaac. Happy 6th birthday. We hope you have a wonderful day.
And Isaac also celebrating his 8th birthday today, along with sister Winter and Chanute. Happy birthday to you both.
Alrighty, and happy 8th birthday to Thea Carers. Hope you have a wonderful day, Thea.
And in Riverton, a happy 10th birthday to Jackson Bond.
Now, we brought up Annabelle's birthday yesterday, but happy 11th birthday to Annabelle Fagan. We hope you have a wonderful day.
Also celebrating their 11th birthday is Aspen Prier. Happy birthday.
Boston Norton, happy 11th birthday to you as well from Pittsburgh, Kansas.
And in Girard, a happy 14th birthday to Noah Gillard.
And it's Sweet 16 for December Willie. You'll have a wonderful day. Happy birthday.
And happy 25th birthday to Dakota Leach in Arma.
And Keith Frobish, happy 77th birthday from Columbus, Kansas, says happy birthday from Carolyn and class of 65 Cherokee County Rural High School.
And Marvin Bohr celebrating birthday number 83 today in Girard. It says happy birthday to the best husband, father, papa, great papa, friend, and Christian. Love your family. Happy birthday.
And happy anniversary to Dan and Barbara Duncan. This is their 46th anniversary all the way from Crestline, Kansas.
And also celebrating their anniversary. Oh, not anniversary, excuse me. I read that wrong. And a happy birthday to Graham and Holt Keller.
And happy 64th birthday to Larry Zomp from Columbus, Kansas.
And last but not least, a happy birthday in Fort Scott to James A. Barker. That was certainly a wonderful birthday list, and we love celebrating your birthdays and anniversaries with you. If you would like to submit a celebration, you can do so by emailing birthdays@koamnewsnow.com. Be sure to include those wonderful photos, messages to meet the deadline that you see there at the bottom of your screen, and also include the date of your celebration as well. Now let's head over to Chloe for a full look at the forecast.
Well, luckily on those birthdays today, we'll warm up just a little bit compared to where we are right now. Our temperatures in the lower 30s to upper 20s. Right now, Pittsburgh at 28 degrees, Fort Scott 27, Miami, you're still at 29, almost at that 30-degree mark. A lot of us folks are in that below freezing to near freezing range, except for a couple of areas, including Joplin, and Neosho right now. They're at 37 degrees. Now heading into this afternoon as the kiddos are heading off to that bus stop this morning, we're still going to be in the 30s for the most part. We're going to be mainly sunny this morning as that easterly flow is with us until we switch to a southerly flow that's going to warm us up and allow us to create more clouds as they begin to develop this afternoon into this evening. Our high this afternoon, 57 degrees. So as those kiddos get off the bus stop this afternoon, it's going to be a lot warmer than it was this morning. Now planning out your afternoon overall, we're going to be in the 50s around lunchtime. From there on, again, we have that southerly wind along with us. That's going to gust upwards of 20 miles per hour. So consistently we'll have 5 to 10 miles per hour, but we could see some quicker wind gusts here and there. Planning out your evening, we'll see those increasing clouds will be pretty much fully cloudy by 8 p.m. this evening, and our temperatures staying in the 50s until we head into later on tonight, and our low is going to be upper 30s across the board. Now, keeping in mind we have that rain chance along with us. It's going to be minimal, and it's going to be really for southwestern Missouri and northwestern Arkansas. So you can see those clouds as they begin to develop. We'll see a couple of stray showers here and there along with that, mainly for northwestern Arkansas, southwestern Missouri. That's going to push through really quickly. We won't see much in terms of accumulation. That's going to leave us with a strong northerly flow by Wednesday morning. So today our wind gusts will be upwards of 25 to 30 miles per hour. But look at this up in southeastern Kansas, especially anywhere from 35 to 40 miles per hour in terms of wind gusts. So it's going to be breezy in the morning, but also a little on the chilly side. So keep that in mind when you have cold temperatures. You also mix that with some hefty wind gusts as well. It makes our feel like temperature a whole lot colder. It makes it feel a little more harsh. So 19 degrees is what it's going to feel like in Yates Center and Independence. Is really off to our western counties in the morning for that bus stop for the kiddos in the morning. So make sure that they're really bundling up. They get those gloves, the scarves, the hats, the whole 9 yards in the morning, and even in the afternoon it's still going to feel like lower to mid 30s outside. Now, overall big picture for this storm system, it's going to push off eastward and we won't have to deal with it at all. Northeast will see some snowfall. We won't because we'll be too warm, unfortunately. And even for our white Christmas, even next week, we really won't see a white Christmas. Actually, it's going to be way too warm for that, but we will see some rainfall as a trough system begins to build in. This is Tuesday afternoon, Christmas Eve of next week. That's our next rain chance that we're tracking. And even beyond that, I expect to see another chance for rain on our 7-day forecast. So on Tuesday, we've got a 20% chance for rain. And then I see a couple of chances for storms on Thursday. Of course, the models are not fully agreeing on this quite yet, but something to keep in mind. But a very calm weekend ahead of us. Saturday and Sunday are highs only in the 40s, but Friday, look how chilly it's going to be. Our high in the upper 30s, 38 degrees for your high on Friday. Now coming up when the KOAM morning news switches on over to Fox 14, we'll see how a project in England is helping their elderly take care of their mental health.
Well, here's a check of today's top headlines, the news you need to know before you head out the door. Well, a judge yesterday sentenced Billy Barker for the 2023 murder of Levi Porter. Now, Barker was sentenced to 50 years without eligibility for parole. Barker was convicted on charges of first-degree murder, being a felon in possession of a firearm, and criminal carrying of a weapon. He was also sentenced to a year for each of the other counts. Well, Hope City Church says it's negotiated to erase $4.2 million in medical debt for thousands of area families. The program targets unpayable debt that's too large for someone to overcome on their own due to either the size of the debt or the income of the recipient. The money comes from donations and the church's budget. And don't forget, today will be our last Toy Box Tuesday telethon of the year. Volunteers at our phone banks will be taking your calls during our noon, 5, 6, and 9 o'clock shows. You can call in and donate money or brand new toys and make a difference in the lives of some area children. For more information, including where you can drop off toys, just head over to KOAMnewsnow.com/toybox. And that's a check of today's top headlines, the news you need to know before you head out the door.
All right, and the last check of that weather for you as well. Temperatures are going to rise up into the 50s this afternoon. Our low tonight going to be in the 30s. Pretty similar to what we woke up to this morning, just a hair on the warmer side. We're going to have that southerly wind along with us this afternoon. So keep in mind, wind gusts upwards of 20 miles per hour. Then southwestern Missouri, northwestern Arkansas will see that chance for rain, couple spotty showers, very sporadic here and there. That's going to be after 10 p.m. later on tonight. So really nothing that you need to worry about, especially in terms of accumulation. It's going to come in and then push out, and it will be in and out really quickly into tonight. So overall, here's a look at your 10-day forecast. We're going to be pretty calm at the end of this week, pretty cold on Friday, chilly on the weekend, and then we're going to warm right back up for Christmas. Unfortunately, we're not going to have that white Christmas. In fact, we're going to have Christmas rain.
Christmas rain.
Yes.
That's okay.
Yeah.
We need rain.
Yeah, we can take it, right? Exactly.
Yeah.
There you go.
All right. Thanks, Chloe. Well, coming up today at noon, we're making morning maple muffins in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen.
Your morning news continues on KOAM with CBS Mornings.
Or you can switch on over with us on Fox 14, where your only local morning news continues. This morning, Jasmine Kyle from the SEK Humane Society joins us in the studio with the four-legged friend.
Plus, Charlene Patton also joins us in the studio to teach us another healthy recipe. But that'll wrap it up for now. We'll see you back here tomorrow morning at 5 a.m.
And we'll see you today at noon.